Okay, so today's lesson, we're using rectangles, for the distributive property. So example 1, we're going to use the rectangle model to distribute. Now, this is the information we have. We're going to use this information. We could simply just go 3 times 4e, and then 3 times 5 to get the answer, right?
Yeah.
But because we're going to be moving on to factoring in about a week and a half, I want you guys to learn how to use area models to help ease you into factoring. So, we have this information here. We have to put this information onto our rectangle. The first number, or the number in front of your first set of parentheses, so the very first set of information here is going to be your height. So for example number 1, write this down. Then what I want you to write right underneath it is going to be height. So this will represent the height of your rectangle. So this is your height. What do you think the second set of numbers is going to be? Your width. So I want this down on your notes. It's super important that you know that your first number or set of numbers will represent your height, and the second set of numbers will represent your width. How many heights do I have for this area model? 1. Well, how many different widths do I have? 2. So you'll just plug them in. Don't rotate your numbers. Don't get your numbers out of order. So you'll basically take that 3 and you'll swing it around right for your height. Then you're going to take your width and you're going to put it in the exact order that is up here. So if 4e is first, what's the width going to be for this first section? 4e. Then what's the width for your second section? 5. So this part we did yesterday in our notes. We were able to find the area of each section of the rectangle and then find the total area by combining those. So we're going to do steps that we did yesterday. So we're going to find the area of the first section. So area, oh, that's a terrible color to use. So area equals height times width. So Paige, what's the height of this rectangle?
3.
And then what's my width of this rectangle?
40.
Okay, so I'm going to take 3 times 4e. Paige, that's going to equal?
12e.
I don't think I heard the last part.
12e.
12e, good. Now, notice, I'm showing my work within inside of the rectangle. I want to see your work within each section of the rectangle as well. Okay, so I found the area of my first section. Now I'm going to find the area of my second section. So Zach, what's the height?
3.
And the width?
5.
Which equals?
15.
Now at this point in your school career in sophomore algebra, you guys know I'm picky. I like things done my way. So, since I want things done my way, I'm going to expect your answer in a very specific manner. The reason why I expect it in a specific manner, because it'll help you down the road. I know I'm picky, but I'm not just being picky for no reason. I'm being picky for a reason because if you learn to do it this way, it'll be a lot easier on you when we get to harder lessons. So we're going to come up next to where we had our distributed property, and we're going to write equals next to it. So we're going to write equals. Then we're going to start to write our answer. So I need to find the area altogether. So if I'm going to find the area altogether, I'm going to need to add my 2 areas. So I'm going to add 12e plus what? 15. Now, can I combine 12e plus 15?
No.
No, in this case I cannot. So that's going to be my final answer. So that's where my answer is going to be written. Good. So what I have up on the PowerPoint right now, you should have on your notes. That's how I want it to be written, yes. I got 12 when I multiplied 3 times 4e. when I took the height times the width. So I got 12e. Oh. And then I got 15 when I took the height. 3 times 5, got 15. I can't combine them. All right, let's look at example number 2. So let's take a look at example number 2. Now, when we go to actually find the area of a rectangle, will you ever have a negative answer? No. But we're not going to turn into a positive, but I'm just saying, like when you guys get into geometry next year, you're not going to have negative answers as part of your area, all right? So the first number or set of numbers represents my the height. So this is going to be my height. Then the second set of numbers represents my width. So the height of this rectangle is what, Nico? What's the height of this rectangle? 4F. Okay. What's my first width of my first section?
3F.
And then the width of my second section? What kind of 5 is that? So you're going to bring that negative with it. All right? From here, we're going to go ahead and find the area of each section. So Nico, I'm going to keep picking on you for a moment. How do I find the area of my first section of the rectangle?
4F times 3F.
Which equals?
12F.
Perfect. All right? The area of your second rectangle? Sorry, I put that up there already.
4 times 5. Negative 5.
Now, that's not a very clean way of writing that. So I'm going to ask, you don't have to. Do not use x to show multiplication. In this case, I would go ahead and put a parenthesis around my negative 5 to show multiplication, which would equal, good, Nico, negative 20f. Okay. So I know the area of this section is 12f squared. I know the area of the next section is negative 20f. What's the area, the total area? So to find the area of the total rectangle, I'm going to have to add those two together. So I'm going to come up to the right of my distributive property, and I'm going to write the area of the first shape, 12f squared. Now I'm supposed to add them together. If I have a plus and a minus right next to each other, what's it going to be? It's just going to be minus. Yeah, that negative cancels. So it's going to be minus 20f. Oh, that doesn't look great. 20f. Now, can I combine like terms here? If is f squared and f, are they the same things? No. So I can't combine like terms. So that's going to be the total area. That's going to be your final answer here.
You missed it. Miss Latrell was just behind you.
Oh, is she?
I think in geometry.
Okay. So make sure you have this down.
Have your son ever did them like multiple cards, like when you get to like brown piece of paper? It's like when you get to brown piece of paper, you put in a little card, and you gotta have him doing it like see how fast you get done like in 1 minute.
Like a worksheet and you're do.
Yeah,
Right.
or it's like the cards with the little circles in it, and you had to put your answer. I don't know. It's like a card. You had to put 7 people piece of worksheet in there.
No, but they do get time tests. He's taking the park testing right now. It was this, it was funny this morning though because do you all have this down? Right. It was funny this morning because I was asking him how he finds the area of a rectangle. And what do you think is okay? So this is a third grade mind. When I said, "Hey, Braden, how do you find the area of a rectangle?" What definition do you think he gave me? It's third grade. No. By using however many tiles could fit on it. It's like you can find the area by how many tiles can fit on the shape. Which is how we remember our opener yesterday. That's what it looks like.
He's a third grader giving an 8th
That's-
grade question.
Well, no, because that's when you start to learn that very basic. Now, I asked him how else he could find it. He's like, you could multiply the two sides. But he doesn't know that that's a formula yet. So they haven't learned that terminology. Okay, now, look at your notes compared to my PowerPoint up here. Also, look at the numbers that we have here.
I'm tired of
what did I say?
Thank you.
The very first number or set of numbers is always going to be your what?
Side part, height.
Your height. So, how
We
many
have two
heights
heights.
am I going to have?
Two.
How many heights do I have?
Two.
So what do I need to add to my shape? Another section.
Oh, that already has it.
So, it has it on yours, but it didn't have it on mine. It has it on mine now. Okay, so, as I said, the first number or set of numbers is always going to be your height. Your second set of numbers will be your width. So if I'm looking at this 2G plus 1, I'm going to keep them in order. So 2G will be my top height.
Oh man, guess what?
So keep them in order. So 2G will be your top height. So what's your bottom height going to be? 1. The 3, your second set of numbers, Vernell, is your width. So now we're ready to do our width. So, Cheyenne, what's the width of this section? Okay. What's the width of my second section, Cheyenne? Good. Now, from here, you have to find the area of each individual section. Again, work left to right, top to bottom. Kijan, what's the area of my top left? So tell me how you...
Times 3, 2G times 3G.
6G what?
Square.
Okay. Next one. What's the area of this section?
Me? Oh,
Yep.
2G times 4 equals 8.
8 what?
G.
Okay.
I can't keep up because I can't erase you. Y'all gotta be careful.
Because you normally keep up with me.
Yeah.
Wait, can you say that a little louder? I, Vernell Knox. Okay, Dylan, what's the area of my bottom left rectangle?
He said.
When'd you get on there now? Okay.
Like 20 minutes ago. What's the area of my bottom left, Dylan?
8 equals 1 times 4.
Wait, what's the width of this rectangle here? I'm sorry, just say it again. I didn't hear you. 3G, good. So 1 times 3G, Dylan?
3G.
Yeah. Okay. And then the area of the last section of the rectangle, Dylan, go ahead. Equals?
4.
So now we need to write our final answer. Now we have a lot more numbers to work with this time. So I'm going to come up to the right. I'm going to put 6G squared. So I'm going to put the area of each section plus 8G plus 3G plus 4. All right, this is not my final answer. Raise your hand if you know why this is not my final answer. Sanisha.
Because you guys said you could combine it.
Okay, I have some like terms up here. What are my like terms?
3, 8, and 3G.
So 8, positive 8G plus 3G. I understand. I knew what you meant. So what's 8G plus 3G? Okay, so my final answer is going to be what then, Sanisha?
Like all together.
Yep, so what's my final answer? How would I write it out?
ZG squared plus 11G plus 4 box.
Perfect. Good. If you run out of room, because the next example thing is, just put your equal sign, drop down underneath. So you can put your equal sign here, and then just kind of drop down underneath and write your final answer if you ran out of room. Good, Kristen, just like how you did. Oh, you guys are all trying to kill me. Boop. Okay. Last example problem that we're going to do today. Hope you don't have chips on the top of your head. Okay, example number 4.
God dang it.
I want you guys to try to do this one independently. So take a couple of minutes. I'm going to walk around and I'm going to see if you're filling out your area models correctly. So walking around, it looks like everybody labeled their area model correctly. That was my main goal. I wanted to make sure that you're getting it set up right. So when you're doing the height, the first number or variable comes to your first rectangle. So what's the height of my first rectangle here? Who haven't I heard from in a minute? Zach,
Which one?
what's the height?
Oh, height is H.
And then your second height?
7.
Okay. What's the width?
2H and -5.
Good. Don't forget that that 5 is a negative. Okay, from here, Amaya, what's the area of my first section?
8 area equals H times 2A.
Which equals?
2H squared.
That's right. Okay, top right, the area, that section,
That's still mine.
still yours.
H times -5.
Which equals?
-5H.
All right, bottom left. Let's see here. Kristen. What's the height of my bottom left section? And the width, which equals? Perfect. Bottom right page.
7 times -5.
Should I write it like that?
Down.
What's wrong with that? It looks like it's
Put it in print.
7 minus 5, which equals? Paige?
-35.
Good. Now I have a whole bunch of individual areas. I need to find the total area of the entire rectangle. So I'm going to take all of these separate areas and I'm going to bring them up to my top. So my first area I'm going to bring up to the top is 2h squared minus 5h plus 14h minus 35. Raise your hand if you know what to do from here. Zach?
You're gonna simplify, and somebody's gonna do your like terms.
Okay, which are my like terms up here?
-5H, -5, no wait, -5H and 14H.
So negative 5h plus 14h.
Yeah.
So when I write my final answer, I'm going to have 2h squared. What's negative 5 plus 14h?
It would be 10 something.
Somebody help them out. Negative 5h plus 14h.
-5 plus 9.
Yeah, so positive 9h. And the last part of my answer?
-30.
Minus 35. That's it. So we'll finish the second part of these notes on Friday. Okay? So we're going to finish the second part of these notes on Friday.